All right, let's get started in a comfortable seated position. Good. Bring your hands to your knees and gently close your eyes. Let your hips sink into the mat. Feel each vertebrae stacking on top of one another. Good. We'll start to bring some awareness to our breath. Inhale through the nose. Deep breath, fill up the lungs from top to bottom. Good. And then exhale out the nose, keeping the mouth closed. Good. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the nostrils. Take one more breath here. Good. Slowly start to roll your shoulders, maybe forward and back. Just waking up the neck, maybe waking up the shoulders. Maybe you bring one ear to one shoulder and then back. Or maybe making some neck circles. Just start to wake up behind the shoulders, maybe in front of the chest. Moving in a way that feels good for you. Good. Come back to center. Extend your right leg out long. And then bring your left foot in towards the inseam of your leg. Start to slowly just twist back and forth, waking up the spine. Keep the crown of your head reaching up. Good. Next time your left hand comes behind your left hip, hold there, looking over to the left side of the room. Take a deep breath here. And exhale. This time you're gonna place your left palm on the ground. We're gonna come up onto that left knee, opening up the front of the hip. The arm can start to make some circles here, waking up that shoulder joint. Good. You're supported on your left shin and your left hand. Really open up here. Good. Switch your circles. If you're going only one direction, try going the other way. Good. Exhale the hips down to the mat. Swivel over to your extended leg. Reach your fingertips up high. And then exhale as you slowly start to forward fold, bending at the hips until you come folded over that extended leg. Good. Know that your extended leg doesn't always need to be straight. Maybe you want to bring a slight bend to it. Whatever you want to stretch out today. Taking everything to your degree. Good. Start to walk your hands back up towards your hips. We're just going to switch out the legs. So left leg goes long, right sole of the foot in towards the inner thigh. Good. Find some twists here. Maybe following with your gaze. Awesome. Next time your right hand comes behind your hips, stay there. Hold it here for just a moment. Maybe 2 breaths here. Good. This time you are going to come up onto that right knee, pressing the left hip forward, and then take some circles here on the other side, waking up that shoulder. Good. You should feel nice and expansive in this pose. Switch your circles, going the other direction. Good. Exhale the hips down to the mat. Taking a forward fold onto the other leg. Reach up first, long spine. Exhale, hinging over the thigh. Chin comes last, so find your forward fold and then let your head hang heavy. Good. Your next inhale, we'll slowly start to walk up, meeting your hands at your hips. Then when you're ready, we're just going to find our way over to our tabletop position. We're going to sink right into child's pose here. So bring the toes to touch, and then send your hips back towards your heels. Reach your hands out long. We're going to have just a few moments here to check into our body, check into our intention. Good. Stay in this pose here. I invite you now to think of maybe a word or a person that you want to set an intention for during this next 40 minutes. Try to bring that to the forefront of your mind. And then each inhale, just start to deepen the breath, letting that intention fill our body, travel through our lungs, maybe sending it out to different areas of our body, really filling our mind with this intention. Good. Your exhale gets rid of anything that doesn't benefit you today, any worries or negative thoughts. Let them go. Give yourself permission to be fully present here in this moment. Awesome. When you're ready, take one more deep inhale here. Fill up the lungs. Open your mouth and sigh out. Good. Your next inhale brings you up to a tabletop position. We'll take a few cat-cows here. So connecting our breath with our movement. Our inhales will drop the belly, look up towards the top of the room. Fill up the lungs. Exhale, round the back. Tuck the tailbone under, maybe tuck your chin. Good. Inhale, cow pose, drop the belly button. Exhale, cat. Bring the belly button back in towards the spine. Good. Take this a few times at your own pace. Maybe you want to find some other movement that feels good in your body. Maybe you bring one hip to one shoulder, stretching into the side bodies. Do whatever feels good for you. Like, this is your practice. Don't have to do everything that I say. You can always modify. As long as you're breathing and moving, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Awesome. Let's set up our foundation for our first downward facing dog. Press your fingertips into the mat. Make sure they're spread really far apart. You feel the ground beneath the heel of the hand. Then tuck your back toes under and start to lift your toes off of the mat. Just an inch. We're going to wake up the core here. Hold it here. Check into your shoulders. See if you can press away a little more. Good. Hold it here. Crown of the head reaches forward. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, sends your hips up high for a downward facing dog. Good. Bend into both knees. Take your time getting into this posture. Keep working through your body, doing what feels good for you. We'll start to firm up this foundation. Your hips are going to reach up towards the ceiling. Send your heels reaching down towards the mat. Maybe they don't touch, maybe they're just there. Good, and then press away from your mat. Let your head sink in between your armpits. Good, take some time here to move your head about, maybe shaking yes and no. Good, we'll move into our chaturanga flows. So inhale, come up to a high plank pose. Hold it here for just a moment. Your exhale will lower you down. You can drop your knees and untuck your toes. Keep the elbows at your sides. Good, inhale, press through the hands, reaching your chest up for cobra pose. Exhale, tuck the back toes, press yourself back up to your downward facing dog. Awesome. Always modify that to fit your practice. Good. On your next inhale, moving into our sun salutations, right toes go high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your foot between your hands, drop the back knee, hook your thumbs and rise. Good. Exhale, your hands come to the top of your thigh, and then press away so you're kind of waking up the inner thighs, bringing the inner thighs in towards each other. Good, maybe the front heel pulls back in space. Good, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, plant the hands and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Your hands can come to your shins. Slight bend in the knees, reach the crown of the head forward. Good, exhale, hands down, forward fold. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands through the heart center. Sigh it out. Good, inhale, reach arms overhead. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift first. Exhale, plant the hands, step your feet back. We'll move through our flow. Option to keep the knees lifted this time. Exhale, slowly lower down to a half plank. Good, inhale, upward facing dog. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, inhale, left toes go high. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Drop the back knee, hook your thumbs and rise. Exhale, the hands come down to the top of the thigh. Engage the inner legs here. Pull together. Instead of just sinking into this pose, see if you can make it active. Good, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, plant the hands and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, arms overhead. Come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands through the heart center. Good, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, melt down to the ground, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step your feet back to a high plank pose. Move through your yoga flow. Good, inhale, brings your chest up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, taking that one more time on each side, right toes go long. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Drop the back knee, hook your thumbs and rise. This time, interlace your fingers back behind your hips, and then reach the fingertips down towards the mat. Now, same thing here. Wake up those inner thighs. Bring them a little closer together. Good. You should feel your legs engaging. Good. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, plant the hands and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands through the heart center. Good. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, splash forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step your feet back. Option to move through your flow, always an option to skip and meet us in downward facing dog. Good. Left toes go long, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through. Drop the knee, inhale, arms high. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back. Same thing on this side. Press down, open the collarbones. And then wake up those inner thighs. Good. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, plant the hands and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Take 3 breaths here. Clearing out the mind, maybe clearing out the lungs. Knowing that with a little bit of movement, our heart rate goes up. Our breathing rate rises. Take that into account and check back in with your breath. Notice the changes. Good. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold at the top of your mat. Separate the feet about hips width distance. We're going to take a quick ragdoll forward fold, just letting ourselves be passive here. Head reaches down towards the mat as we decompress the spine. Always an option to keep a slight bend in the knee. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Bring your toes to touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back to move through a flow. Good. Moving on to our sequence here. Make sure you have your support or block nearby if you need it. We'll start with a 3-legged downward facing dog. Right toes go high. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Right hand reaches up, low lunge twist. Keep the back knee lifted up towards the ceiling. Good. Open up to the right. Exhale, frame the front foot, and then straighten your both legs. So coming into your pyramid pose. Maybe you step that back leg in just a little bit. Both feet are facing forward. Square off your hips. So bring the right hip back in space a little bit. Left hip reaches forward. And let your head hang heavy here for just a breath. Your next inhale, you'll bend the front knee and look forward. Exhale, straighten and fold. Inhale, bend the front knee and look forward. Exhale, straighten and fold. Good. Inhale, bend the front knee and look forward, preparing to launch off for standing splits. So if this is something where you need, some support, or if you have a block or a book, option to bring that under your hands here. Hold it here. Let your head reach towards the ground. Left heel is imagining it's pushing away the back wall. Good. Bring your right hand down in front of your nose. And then you're going to bring your left hand and reach it up overhead, coming into your half moon. So your left hip is stacking on top of your right. You can have a slight bend in that right leg. Strong limbs here. Every limb is reaching out, sending energy out every single toe and fingertip. Good. Exhale, left hand down to the mat. Bring your left knee in toward your nose. Good. Step that left toe back behind you. Drop your knee. Inhale, hook your thumbs, and rise. Open up your arms. Practicing them out to the side. Good. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, plant the hands. Step your right toes back. Option to move through your flow or downward facing dog. Good. Taking that on the left side. Left toes go high. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Lift those left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Good. Open up the collarbones. Exhale, left hand down to the mat. Straighten both legs coming in your pyramid pose. Good. See if you can let your head hang heavy here. Check back into those hips. Good. One more inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, bend the front knee and look forward. Good. Exhale, straighten and fold. Inhale, bend the front knee and look forward. Exhale, straighten and fold. Good. Exhale, straighten and fold. Sorry. Inhale, bend the front knee and look forward. Reach those right toes off the mat, coming into your standing splits. Good time to grab your support here. If you need it for half moon, you can place it directly under your left arm. Good. Bring your left hand directly under your nose. Maybe you're using that support here. Good. And then it can be kind of helpful to bend in the knee in the standing leg first, and then reaching that right fingertip high. As you stack the right hip over the left, maybe you want to straighten out that standing leg. Sometimes I find it a little easier without support, but some people do need that support. So take this to your degree and make this your own. Good. Exhale, both hands frame the front foot. Bring that right knee in. Exhale, low lunge. Send your right toes back behind you. Drop the back knee. Hook your thumbs and rise. Good. Open up the arms. Shine your chest forward. Good. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, plant the hands and step forward. Good. Inhale, halfway lift here. Exhale, take a forward fold. Quick forward fold, just a few breaths, maybe swaying back and forth. Good. Bring your toes to touch if they're not touching. Inhale, halfway lift. On your exhale, send your hips low. Arms will come high for your chair pose. Reach the arms out in front. Come deeply into those hips. Bending into the knees, bending into the hips. Check into your knees. See if they're in line with one another. That might mean that your hips are not squared, so try to see if you can square your hips off. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step your feet back to move through your flow. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. Good. Changing up the sequence just a little bit. Inhale, the right toes go long. Exhale, right knee to nose. Inhale, right toes go long. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. And then straighten both legs and fold. So you might bring that back leg in. Good. Inhale, bend the front knee, and then bring your arms back behind you in airplane posture. Really squeeze the arms back behind you. And then when you're ready, start to shift your weight into your front toes, lifting that left toe off the mat, coming into your airplane pose, warrior two. Good. See if you can hold this for a few breaths. Strong back leg, crown of the head reaches forward. Good. Place that right hand down onto the mat. We're moving into half moon. So lift those left fingertips high, stack those hips. Awesome work. Left hand comes down, standing splits quickly. And then exhale, knee to nose. Shoot those left toes back behind you and start to walk your hands out to the left side of your mat. Good, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Take some time here to just check back in to your body. Maybe you want to bend into both legs. Take some time here just to move in a way that's authentic to you. Good. When you're ready, we'll swivel back to the front foot. Bring yourself into a low lunge. And then plant your hands, step your right toes back for a three-legged dog. Option here to open the hip, bend the knee, opening up that right hip, maybe pressing it into the right side of the room. Good. Exhale, bring both toes back to the mat. Option to take a vinyasa flow. We'll be meeting back in downward facing dog. Good, exhale, the left toes go long this time. Sorry, exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, left toes long. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Bring that back leg in and straighten and fold. Pyramid pose here, take some time. Good, inhale, bend in the front knee. Bring your arms back behind you for your airplane arms. Good, start to shift your weight into that standing leg. Coming into your airplane pose, warrior three. Good. Hold it here for maybe 2 more breaths. Finding your drishti out in front of you, a point to focus on. When you're ready, left hand comes down. Stack that right hip. Maybe one side's different. I'm definitely more wobbly on this side. That's totally okay. If you fall out, just come right back in. Good. Exhale, both hands down to the mat. Standing splits. Exhale, knee to nose, curtsy squat. And then send those right toes back behind you, coming back to our wide-legged forward fold, this time on the right. Awesome work, everyone. Woo, I'm sweating. Take some time here to bend into both legs. Maybe coming down low. Bring your chest up. Giving it some time to breathe. Take that on the other side. Do anything here that feels good for you. Good, start to walk your hands back towards the front of the mat, framing your left foot, and then step your right toes up to meet your left. Good. You're at the top of your mat, feet are touching. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Good, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Awesome, so our peak pose today is gonna be dancer's pose. We've been building up to some balancing and opening of the hips. So I think we're ready. I'm excited. Let's bring our hands to touch. Just check back in, finding our foundation and grounding ourselves before we move on to some balancing. Take a deep breath here. And exhale. Good. I'm going to be showing you guys from the side, but feel free to take this at the front of your mat. Awesome. So we're going to start by putting all of our weight into the right foot. Really start to feel the ground underneath each toe. Maybe lift each toe up and place it back on the mat. Press away from the ground. Good. This standing leg can keep a slight bend in it so that your leg feels supported and it's not just like hyperextending back. Good, start to lift off of those left toes. And then bend your knee up first. Give it a tight squeeze. Good, send your leg back behind you. Knees bent. Your left hand comes out almost like you're a waitress holding a tray. Good, reach around. Try to grab the inside of your ankle. If that's not accessible for your shoulder, the outside's just fine too. Good, and before we even start to hinge at the hips, bring your knees back together. Awesome, reach your right hand up high, and then as you start to hinge, kick into that back hand. So really waking up all of the leg muscles here. Good. Take this to your degree. If you want to, you can stay here. But if playing around with moving into half moon might be something you want to do, you can start to reach down, coming into your half moon pose. Good. Awesome. Take that to your degree though. We'll come out of this nice and slowly. If you are down on the ground doing your half moon like I am, we'll just slowly let go of that leg. Come in your half moon. Exhale the hand down to the mat and step together. Good, let's meet back in mountain pose, Tadasana. Exhale your hands through and center. Good, let's take that on the other side. Awesome. Adding in a little bit of a challenge for you guys today. But always take this to your degree. Good, find your foundation first. Feeling the ground beneath you. Good. Start to put all of the weight into that left foot, lifting off of those right toes. Bring your knee up first, give it a tight squeeze. Good. Exhale those right toes back behind you. Find your arms first, then go around, grab that ankle, zip the knees back up together. Then lift those left fingertips high, coming into your dancer's pose. Good. Hold this here for a few breaths. Option to move into your half moon if you would like on this side. Even if you want to just play around with the balance and let go of your hand, moving into that half moon, that's another option. Good, one more breath here. Exhale, feet together. Come back up to your mountain pose. Exhale, hands through the heart center. Awesome job, everyone. Good, we'll reach our arms up overhead. And then exhale, forward fold. Take some time here to find a forward fold of your choice. Maybe grabbing onto your two big toes or ragdoll pose, just a couple of breaths here. Awesome. We'll slowly start to bend the knees, bend the hips down. We're going to come to a seat on our mat. But bring your feet maybe like 2 feet out in front of you. Your hands can come back behind you. And then we're going to slowly just start to windshield wiper the hips out to the side, stretching into both sides of the hips. Good, next time you come back up to center, place your left sole of your foot down onto the mat nice and firmly. Start to bring, so instead of sinking into your low back, try to engage your core, flat back, neutral spine. Good, bring your right ankle over your left knee. So you might have to scoot your hips back even more. I'm realizing I'm kind of tight over here, so this is perfectly great. We can stay right here. Or if you want to start to lean into this pose, we're coming into kind of a supported seated pigeon pose instead of going down onto our hips. Bring your right toes back towards your right knee. Good. Hold it here for just a couple of moments. It can feel good to stretch into that hip. Thank you so much for flowing with me today. It was a little bit more challenging of a practice, but I hope you had fun too, doing some new things and trying out some different poses. Good. We'll take that ankle off of the knee. Take it on the other side. So left ankle crosses over your right knee. And then take this to your degree. Notice that maybe one side is different than the other. Notice this without judgment. Not everyone is symmetrical or perfect. This is all part of being human. Good. Hold it here for one more breath. And then bring your left foot down to the mat. Good. Keep your feet where they are. Hips stay directly where they are, and start to engage your core as you slowly lower down. Your hands can come out in front of you, coming all the way onto your back. Good. Your head can come to rest on the mat. Bring your shoulder blades underneath you a little bit more, maybe shimmying them underneath you. Your hands can come to the mat, out to the sides. And then when you're ready, we're going to take a couple of bridge poses, just stretching into the front of the hips and then engaging the back of our hips, our glute muscles and hamstrings. When you're ready, bring your knees together and then inhale as you squeeze the glute muscles, sending your hips up towards the ceiling. Hold it here for a moment. And then exhale the hips back down to the mat. We'll take that a few more times. So inhale, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, hips down. Good. Inhale, squeeze. Good. Exhale, sink down. Take this 5 more times at your own pace. Each inhale brings your hips up towards the ceiling. And each exhale sinks your hips down. One more. Good. Bring the hips down. Bring your knees in toward your chest. Option 2, rock back and forth. Maybe you want to find happy baby pose here. Grabbing onto your 2 big toes and then letting your legs sway out. Maybe you want to straighten into one leg and then the other. Good, and then find any other postures that you still want to do today that maybe I didn't bring you through. Before we start to wind down, take this time now. We'll have about 4 minutes of Shavasana. When you're ready to find your final resting posture, let your legs extend out long. Your arms can come to your sides. Start to relax the shoulders onto the mat. Check into your jaw. See if you can unrelease. See if you can release any tension. Take this time to fully rest. Your body deserves it. Your mind deserves it. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes at us as unexpected visitors. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house, empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has come as a guide from beyond. Know that you have time and space here to stay if you would like. If you're ready to move on with your day, start to wake the fingers and toes up by wiggling and shaking them. Bring your arms overhead for a long body stretch, stretching from the fingertips all the way down to the toes. Good. Bring both knees in toward your chest. Give yourself a tight squeeze. Giving yourself some love. Good. And then when you're ready, you can find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Taking your time to get there. Sinking your hips into the mat. Maybe your spine stacks on top of one another. But your hands can come to rest on your knees, or they can come to touch in front of your heart. Eyes can stay closed. Maybe you add a smile to your face, reminding you of all of the awesome work you've already done today, even before yoga, and all of the things that you'll get done the rest of the week. Bringing in a wave of gratitude for being able to move our bodies in such a fun and beautiful way. Enjoy the rest of your week. Namaste.